Hello and welcome, my name is Zane and this is my guide to hunting implings in Puro Puro using the Impetuous Impulses minigame. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So on to the requirements. Now there's quite a lot here, the first one being that you should really complete the Lost City for a consistent access to a crop circle in the middle of Zaney. The second linked requirement to this is unlocking the fairy ring system so you can get to Zaney easily. You will also need at least 1700 to start the minigame, but I recommend 83 to actually pull in a decent profit. I also recommend that you have at least 50 magic for the snare spell, but ideally you'd have 79 for entangle as well. For the equipment, you're going to want your best weight reduction clothing. I really recommend using graceful here because you will run out of run if you don't have it. You will also need a magic butterfly net, which you can get from trading Elnock Inquisitor, 3 gourmet, 2 earth and 1 essence impling. This is important because it increases your chance of catching implings. For your inventory, you're going to need either a Drayman or Lunar Staff to use fairy rings, unless you've got the Lumbridge Elite Diary completed. You're going to want as many impling jars as you can carry, and you're going to want runes for Bind or Entangle, which is Nature's, Water's and Dust runes. So in the background, I'm going to play how I got to Puro Puro each time I had to bank. Basically, what you want to do is run to a fairy ring. You'll want to go to Zaney through the fairy ring, and then you're going to want to run northeast into the giant crop field and enter the centre of crop circle, which has some sort of dust particle around it, and it's always in the centre of the crop field here. Once you are in Puro Puro, here's what you want to do, and bear with me because it's quite a complicated method. So you can either go northwest or southeast into the maze. As you can see on screen, I've chosen southeast in this case. You want as much vision as possible in this corner of the maze, so only go about halfway in, you don't want to go right to the corner. Once you're there, here's what you want to do. You want to capture any impling that's nature or above, that being nature, magpie, ninja, dragon and lucky implings. They all share the same spawn, so if you capture a nature impling, there is a chance that when that impling respawns, it will be a dragon impling instead. The way to capture them is to move through the magical wheat. Basically, you're going to want to entangle or snare each of these implings that you're capturing, because if you miss them, they're going to fly away from you, and it's very annoying to capture them at that point. Whereas if they're already bound, they can't move away from you if you failed to capture them and put them in a jar. Once you've caught all the nature and higher tier implings, it will take them 2 minutes to respawn. Don't wait around for that time, and also don't run around the maze like some people do. What you're going to want to do is hop between worlds, juggling them as you go and rinsing and repeating to maximise your chances of spawning a dragon impling. I recommend juggling 4 to 5 worlds doing this and hopping in intervals of 30 seconds so that you know that by the time you've completed one world, the next world will be ready for you. So the basic premise on this is to control the spawns on 4 to 5 worlds. This makes it more difficult for people to crash you because they don't know when the implings are going to spawn, which in turn means it makes it much more likely that you're going to be the one to find the dragon impling that you spawned rather than some random stranger. And on to the tips and tricks section. Now my number one biggest tip for you is if you can access skill total worlds, then do it so you don't have to compete with bots. My second big tip for you is because you want to catch these implings as fast as possible, be liberal with your use of snare and entangle spells. This took me a while to realise, but every single nature impling you catch increases the chance that the next impling you'll encounter, so even though nature implings aren't worth so much, they are still worth capturing and using runes on. My third tip for you is that you're going to make mistakes and capture the wrong implings. What I recommend doing is, when you're banking, keep those implings in your inventory because you can trade them in for 3 impling jars each. My fourth tip for you is to keep track of time. You know that they'll respawn every 2 minutes, so if you're using 4 worlds, then hop roughly every 30 seconds. If you're using 5 worlds like I did, I also just hopped every 30 seconds as well, so I knew that whenever I logged into a world, the implings would already have spawned. And my final tip for you is this. If you're using a client and a impling spawns in front of you, the name of it will not be highlighted until you either run off the screen or log off and on again. So you can either wait for that impling to spawn, which looks like a puff of dust, which I'll show on the screen now, or better still, you can log off a world and back onto it again, and then that impling's name will be highlighted for you. And that's it for this guide. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And if there's anything you'd like me to make a guide on, then feel free to drop me a line and I'll do my best to make it happen. Hope you're having a nice day and I will see you next time. Bye guys!